British pound against the Australian dollar. This is the 4-hour chart, and I set this black lines horizontally are 100 pips. I'm going to put this grid in this comment. This is the 100 pip handle, and I think it's really it's a really useful thing. I have a bar chart on here, and the blue line is the moving average set at 2 period actually, so it's smoothed out. So I'm going to make that 1 period. This is my compromise strategy. 2 period moving average is about as smooth as it gets, but I'm going to set that to 1 because I thought that was set to. It definitely looks smoother on, and it doesn't matter if it's exponential or simple at this point. So I'm going to set that to 1, and it's a little more jagged, but it's going to give you you can see that you close below that is where you would have wanted to get in, or you just place your a lot of this stuff just involves placing orders. So I want to do my free trading course. I thought about it. I think I could do it. And here you would just trade with 50 pip stops on this 4-hour Australia to the pound to the Australia. So if you go up to your this is these you'd run a 50 pip stop. So here you're long. Now you could get out. You bought at the 100-yard line. Just goofball trade. Plus if you look back here in the you have a big you slam up against this round number and you slam down. Gee, I wonder why that is. And I just don't. I'm never going to understand Fibonacci's to save my life. But look how this trade. Now, had you bought at the 50-yard line with your stop here, you more than made money on that trade. Now, I don't know what your time horizon is. This is the 4-hour chart. So this represents 1 week from here to here. From here to here is 1 week, and you can see the rate of change here is pretty steep. Put a trend line on there. Use the trend line across these boxes. This is dropping at 100 pips per week. It's certainly dropping it faster than 100 pips per week here. And on the upside, it is going up at a severely steep ride. So you would be long right now from here. You could cash out at the round. I do think that this is it. This is in the big picture, this is a shoulder, head, shoulder. And you might have already made 100 pips on this, so you just go back to sleep. So that's how easy trading is. Pretty easy. Here's the zoomed in view of the 4-hour. Here is your classic. Same story, different currency pair. Bottom on close becomes a top. Your sell limits are here. You get picked up. You ride this down. You make your 100 pips. Bottom becomes a top. Chance to sell. And you've got a sell limit here too. So you picked up 2 tickets. You made 100 pips. And you can project your channel here. So you're buying all the counter trends off that channel. Boom, boom, boom. Here you have your buy new low. So this morning you would have had your buy limits on the wicks. And if you're not already long from here, right? Now we're looking to come to here. The sellers are going to come in here. You can trade the counter trend trade against that. It takes just a lot of trading, a lot of work. The 1-hour view for, I guess this is a little bit more higher frequency trading than 4 hours. Here's a trend line. So here's your break of a trend line, and you bounce off that. So if you're counter trend trading that, here's another trend line that seems to work. I don't know why. I think it's just magic. This is the magic. Trend line breaks, find support, you're up. You also have if you're on the 1 hour, you can see this little baby top here. You place your buy limit. So the thing is about placing the appropriate stop. Here you put a buy limit here. If your stop is too tight, okay, you didn't make money on that. Your targets, probably you want to get the hell out of this thing about up here, because you know that the sellers are going to come in. And if you want to sell into that, you always have to have that scalp. Get the scalp. Maybe one's a scalp and one is a greedy order. So if you have the scalp trade looks like this, and the big kahuna order looks like this. The ratios here are set to pretty severe ratio. I think I'm looking to make 4 times my money. That's right. I'm going to buy 1 and I'm going to make 4. My stop is 1 increment below. Or is that 3? No, it's 3 times my money. Triple my risk, right? So if I put in this grid, 100 stops, 100 pip stop to make 300 pips. It looks like quite a bit of money there. So you're risking 100 pips to make 300 pips. It's going to work out a lot better on the daily. So depending on how patient you are to wait for an entry, here's a situation where this worked out. If you go to take your risk tool here, I'll just turn my fib into a risk tool, and you're going to buy the no, that's the wrong one. That's only double your money. We want to make big bucks. So here's your stop, 100 pip stops. So you got in here, you didn't get stopped out. If you bought every 20 pips all the way down into that, now if you're going to trade with a 200 pip stop, and you're going to be in this trade for this is a daily, so you're going to be in the trade for a whole month, you're looking to make 600 pips. So what does that look like? You're going to buy, here's your entry, you're going to buy. Maybe you even bought here. Maybe you bought the new low here and got stopped out. But had you bought here, we're right at the wicks where they're going to go and trounce all the I just heard Akil Stokes say the market's out to get you. It's out to get you. So you definitely made this. I mean, it's so stupid. This talk is so. I mean, people have just this kind of view of the market like it's out to get them, and oh, they're just gonna wipe the mat with you if you think you're gonna put what? You're gonna say here, okay, I could have put a 300 pip risk on here to make 900 pips. 300 pip stop. Got in here. Hit my target. Hit my target here. Okay, how to make 900 pips Australian dollar with a 300 pip stop. And if you bought the new low here, you stopped you out. If you bought the wick low, the new low there, they stopped you out. You say put that 350 pip stop in there. Oh, target's not met yet. Oh, look how this just lines up perfectly here. It's like fib magic. So if you want to risk $30 to make $90, then you put this on a 1K, 300 pips to make the 900, to make the 90. We're coming up against the bottom. Now, if they reject that, it's going to be a bloodbath to the upside. So I'd already be out of this trade. I would have taken my 100 pips here clean and left the party. So I would have bought here, would have dumped at the 100, and I would have reloaded here if I was trading from the long side. The short side, you can see all the trades there, but we're coming to the end of this trend. So the trend line, we're just breaking it right now. pound to Australia. And look at this round number. Bottom becomes the top on the 4-hour. Whoosh. Trend line gives you projections like a cloud into the future. And if you're doing a RSI, there's probably a nice juicy signal in here. If you copy this, highlight that, hold down Control, and find the lowest close in there. Same thing here. If you take these two peaks, find the lowest close within there, and that's projecting down there. So inside the channel, it's really a channel, but I've just cordoned off the where it hits. So you have this, and then you connect it to this, you find the lowest close, target hit, put it on here, these two peaks, copy that, target hit. Now we're in an uptrend. How do you know? Because you can draw a trend line for the first time like this. Now you could break that trend line. And are there any other instances here where you could have drawn that trend line? Could have drawn it here. It's really easy to visually where's Waldo? I don't know if that's, here's a pullback trend line, uptrend verified, nice run. You have this trend line break. There's the trend line break, finds resistance right on the clock, dead end. Another support supposed to hold, but what is the problem here is this floor has become a ceiling, and you got this big hole forming. Just waiting to clean that out. Those are quick and dirty trades. And then look how it stalls here. Why the stalling at the 100? Because people are interested in that 100. They think it's gonna. I think that's a good price. Not so much. Bottom becomes a top at the 100-yard line. Bam. Bottom becomes a top at the 100-yard line. Not the best trade in the world, but you're right. It went down. Make your 50 pips. But now we're going up. Right? We're going to fill this big hole on the north side now. Kind of rangy. Go to the weekly. In the big picture, go to the monthly. And holy mogoly, look at this thing. Look at this big trap down here. This is the kind of thing you want to see on a 4-hour. Buy this trap down here, load the wagon, and just sit tight. Watch it break this trend line. Here's a perfect bottom becomes a top. Bottom becomes a top. This should be resistance. Total failure. Pound to the Australian.